this is Jeff from Studio 41 Gaming, and please ignore the giant logo in the middle of my screen. This is a Metallica. I'm a diehard Metallica fan. We are showing how to install and play the Bladerunner 1997 game. Now with Deus Ex Mankind Divided coming out here soon, I decided to get a game that inspired Deus Ex Human Revolution. And there are definitely some correlations between that, but I also figured out it is very hard to play this game on a modern system and to even get it. So I figured there are probably a lot of people who want to give this game a shot since it is well known to be a very good game. So let's get started. This could take a while, but I'm going to try and get through it quick because I'm recording with Shadowplay and that makes huge files. So let's get to it. Now the first step is getting the game, which is, again, not very easy. But I was able to find on the actual government archive, there's an archive of the game itself, Bladerunner 1997. That's the game, and you're going to probably want the torrent. You could do the ISO image, but I think the torrent is a little bit easier, honestly. The ISO image is going to be 4 different ISO files. It probably would be about the same, but I went with the torrent. I'll have a link to it and to this page in the description so you can find it. But after you download this, you're going to want to go and to your download location. It's actually moved it. It's on the desktop. But I have it just drag it out here on the desktop. And this is what it looks like when you get the torrent. Obviously, if you got the ISO files, it'll just be these individual disk 1, disk 2, disk 3, disk 4. Now, what you're going to want to do is for disk 1, you're going to want to mount this. You just mount it however you do. This is on Windows 10. It works however you mount something on Windows 7 or Windows 8. You just mount it with that. I do have a program that actually let me do this before, but with Windows 10, it just is built-in mount. But before you do anything, before you start installing anything, there's something else you're going to need to download. This is the Bladerunner Installer. This is this came out in 2012. Somebody in Germany made it. It's a 64-bit installer. This is why this game is very hard to play on modern systems. It was built for 32-bit systems. Now, sounds complicated, but I'm going to make things super simple. On our official Google Docs here, I uploaded the 2012 installer right here, and something called HD frames. Ignore HD frames, but download both of these files. Again, I'm going to have a link to it in the description to go and find them. But this installer is basically your lifeblood for getting this to work on a modern system. But here it is right here. This installer, you're going to want to mount the first disk, and then you're going to want to run this. But I have had a couple problems with this installer. I was able to get it to work on my 3rd actual try, but word of warning, you might have to try 1 or 2 times to get it to work. My problem might have been, though, I was trying to initially install the game to the Documents extension here, but you're going to want to install it to, where is it here? Let's go this PC, and then local disk, then go to Program Files x86. I went here, and it's right here, Bladerunner. I got to go right here, and it works perfectly fine. So put it to Program Files x86. But now, after you mount the first disk, run this installer. Obviously, you're going to want to choose English. I'll just get it running here. Yes. But you want to go through this. You're going to want, it'll say mount to mount the first disk, but obviously after it'll say insert disk 2. What you're going to want to do is demount the first disk and then mount disk 2. Make sure it goes to the D drive. Make sure it goes to the D drive, but target directory, this is where you're installing it to. This is you're going to want to go through and choose Program Files x86. But make sure, though, that the thing goes to disk D, or the D drive, the next disk for disk 2, then just repeat that until you get to the end. And when you get to the end, it's going to pop up and say two things. One is going to be to use the certain run here, or the application. It makes a unique application for running this mess. See, you gotta go back to your install directory, and it's going to be Blade 2012. And this, whenever you run the game, make sure you make a shortcut to Blade 2012. That's what I have here. I just renamed it to Bladerunner. It's right here on my desktop. But make sure you run that, run this application. It's a 64-bit application. It runs everything fine. But now it's the HD frames. HD frames is something that, again, was rigged by the people who made the 2012 installer. But what you're going to want to do is, this is very simple. You just open this archive. You see hdframes.dat, and then you extract it. I just extract it to the desktop, and then you're going to want to copy it, and then again go to your installation directory for Bladerunner. So go back to wherever you installed it to. Hopefully program files x86, since that's where it seems to like it. You don't even copy it, just drag it and drop it, and it'll go right down here, HD frames. You can tell this is the new one. It was made in 2008, and it's also way bigger than the original. The original is like 50 megabytes. This one's over 300. It's some technical mumbo jumbo about the sprites, and I think it's just more efficient, basically. But make sure you do that, because I think it's some problem with the 64-bit thing also. I think it's something with the sprites just conk out. But after you do that, yes, there still is more. I actually discovered I had some problems when starting the game, even after all of this. Now, what I did here is you go to right-click and you go to Properties. And you get this, and you go to Compatibility. And it might even say it after you finish installing that there might be some compatibility issues. Just cancel that, and do this. Just make sure you click to run in compatibility mode, Windows XP, and then I chose Service Pack 3, just the most recent version. And then you go, this was on by default, the 8-bit 256 color mode. I haven't tried 16. I just left it to 8-bit. It works perfectly fine. Then I also run it in 640 by 480 screen resolution, and then run this program as administrator, because then it won't have to click that stupid box that pops up when it says, do you want to allow this program to make changes to your computer? Now after you do all that, then the game should run perfectly fine, no problem. I have zero issues with it now after doing all of this. Just make sure that you install the program x86, program files x86, and then do the HD frames thing and copy that or move that over to your installation directory. And after doing all of that, you should have zero problems running this. I'm running on Windows 10. I imagine it would work fine for Windows 7, Windows 8. I know Windows 8's weird, but I can't imagine it having any issues there either. But that's how you play the Bladerunner 1997 game. Don't worry about the torrent. It's legal. It's on the official government website. I imagine the game must be freeware, since I have no idea what happened to Virgin Interactive. So it's all legal. It's all good. This game is regarded as being one of the best point-and-click adventure games ever made. So go ahead and give it a shot if you're into the Blade Runner movie and Deus Ex. Thanks for watching.